y'all, it is your host, TikTok here back with another YouTube video. Alright, usually I'll be doing a gaming video about Fallout or something, but for today, I like to talk about Power Ranger Megaforce. But mostly of how would I fix Power Ranger Megaforce. And yes, this is a presentation. So yeah, let's do it. Alright, so the reason I'm actually doing this video is because I was mostly bored and was like, man, I might as well pump a video out. And also, I was watching a YouTuber called Connor D. Waffle in his Power Ranger Super Megaforce video. I was like, dang, he was correct. Like, dang, this like this show was not that good. People like I hear many times that Megaforce or Super Megaforce are not good shows. They're like all right, and I'm like, huh. And I was watching Connor Waffle talking about it. I was like, yeah, I kind of agree with him. And I remember some of the episodes. I was like, yeah, he's kind of correct. He's correct. So I was like, you know what? I bet you I can make a presentation of how I will fix it. Improve the screenwriters that anybody could be a screenwriter. Most of the prove the screenwriters that even a little kid, someone who has no experience in writing a movie or TV show, can write how to make a better TV show. So yeah, let's begin. Alright, the main characters. Okay, the Blue Ranger is the nerd who wants to help people, but he isn't very confident. Yellow Ranger, the tough girl who scares everyone and acts like a menace but actually is a nice person. The Red Ranger, the popular kid who wants to help people but others think that he wants attention so he doesn't. The Pink Ranger, the rich girl who believes that sometimes money is better than helping people. And the Black Ranger, the person who only talks about himself. Alright, Go saying gives the Rangers helpful advice and clear explanations and meaningful lessons. Tensu, he'll be less annoying and capable of transforming into a powerful Megazord form called Tensu Hyper to fight alongside the Rangers when needed. And Robo Knight, the reason why this is like a nitpick thing, where in one episode when they were fighting Admiral Murloc, Robo Knight wasn't helping because he was in the library trying to understand humans, which I think is dumb. So I was like, you know what, let's do something different. The real reason why he was not helping the Admiral, wasn't helping the Rangers, because he was fighting against Vrak on the Admiral ship. I mean, he's still helping the Rangers, but not indirectly, not directly, like fighting against Admiral Murloc. Yeah, I have to say his name correctly. Alright, anyways, here's some lessons each Ranger can learn. Blue Ranger learns that he needs to be more confident so he can truly help others. Yellow Ranger learns that just because people see you in a certain way doesn't mean you have to act like it. Red Ranger, it doesn't matter what people think of you. You should do what's right regardless. Pink Ranger learns that helping people has a greater impact than money ever could. And Black Ranger learns that while it's important to care for himself, he also needs to care about his teammates and the people around him. Alright, here's some ideas. Let's start with the ad section. Alright, good character emotion, because they're really like you could barely feel emotion from each character. Actually good morals, a crossover episode with Power Ranger Samurai. Better ways of showing the Yellow Ranger and Black Ranger relationship, because apparently they had in this show they apparently had one, which I didn't even notice, and they were barely like touching on it, you know. It was just mostly flirting, but that's it. And Admiral Murloc warning about the Armada, because in the show he wants to just like curse you Rangers, but I feel like his last word be warning about the Armada will be more interesting. Anyways, here's some stuff we removed. The Red Ranger vision of the legendary battle, the blue, yellow, red screens, and blue, black, and pink middle screen, and the walls that shows the Ranger keys. And the soulless dialogue. The soulless dialogue, understandable if you're not understandable, but you can, in the show, when the Rangers speak, it's like very like, like there was like no emotion to that speech. And what I'm talking about, when I meant by the screens and the Ranger walls and the Ranger key walls, this stuff, I don't like it. Just be like Ghostface's head and that's it. Cause I don't know, the middle screens, I don't see no purpose for it. And the Ranger keys, again, I feel like it should be more about. We're focusing more on Megaforce, not Super Megaforce, because the Ranger keys are all about Super Megaforce. Anyways, okay, human stories replacements. Okay, episode 3, Human story be about the Blue Ranger who wants to join the talent show to demonstrate sword skills, but he lacks the confidence to perform, and at the same time he's trying to figure out what makes the Black Ranger powerful. The episode 4 will be about the Black Ranger trying to impress the Yellow Ranger by talking about himself, and his arrogance caused the Yellow Ranger to embarrass himself in front of the entire school. In episode 5 will be about the Red Ranger tries to prove that the Pink Ranger that helping people is worth more than money, while struggling with classmates who believe he only does good deeds to get attention. Anyways, next up, the ending. Alright, after they defeat the messenger, they just look up the sky and they see the Armada arise and start destroying the Ranger city. Robo Knight is gone, like his body, like he's just gone. Not like disappear gone, he's just dead. Yeah, he's dead. He used too much of his energy, to defeat the messenger. And they can't communicate with Gosei or Tensu, and the Ranger realized their powers are not working. Because I didn't like the fact they was able to still have their powers in Super Megaforce. It's like the Turbo team still able to transform into Turbo, but when things like goes bad, like, oh no, let's go in space mode. Like, that doesn't look right. Anyways, let's go to the next presentation. Power Rangers Super Megaforce. Okay. The show we're gonna be fixing. Okay. Here's some ideas we could do. Okay, the opening theme is a mix of the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger and Samurai theme song style. Let's mix the two, old and new. The opening sequence introduced the Rangers in a style similar to Power Ranger Space. Probably because I like it. Okay, and this one's like a far-fetched idea. Rename Power Ranger Super Megaforce to Power Ranger Sentai Megaforce to celebrate Power Ranger and Super Sentai. Because without Super Sentai, there'll be no Power Rangers. Okay, the Rangers' new headquarters is the Sky Base, which serves as their mobile base of operation. And the human stories. The human stories in the Power Ranger in Power Ranger Megaforce are kind of random. So here's some ideas. So here's some ideas they could focus on. What it truly means to be a Ranger, after pretty much losing their mentor and their robot friend, and two of the robot friends are kind of lost and they don't even know what it means to be a Ranger. The 5 stages of grief after losing their mentor, Gosei and Tensu. That meant to be Robo Knight, which I'm just gonna do that. Robo Knight. And desire for revenge and learning when to let it go. Alright. Anyways, replace the Green Ranger scenes of him embarrassing himself with fight scenes, because if you ever wonder why some of the scenes, like the Green Ranger's like messing around, it's true because of they used the Sentai footage of Gokaiger, the show they're adapting, and the Green Ranger in Super Sentai he's a fighter and not at the same time. He just tries to survive. So, which is not the Black Ranger. Black Ranger can fight. So yeah, let's do like that. And next up, okay. And when the Rain Rangers transformed to Super Sentai, they were never adapted to Power Ranger. They announced the Super Sentai team name instead of saying like anything weird. Like in one episode, they transformed into Die Ranger, but they said like Squadron mode, which is kind of dumb. So when they morphed into, just say, it was like, let's try this new Super Sentai abilities. Let's try this Die Ranger. Let's go Die Ranger. Boom, transforms it. All right. Next up, when the Rangers transform into the Gosuku. Okay, I can't say it. Into the Sentai Turbo team. Okay, that's the issue right there. I'm gonna fix right now because that's the Turbo. It's Turbo Ranger team, not the not the Turbo team we know, because there's a different Turbo team. I'll give you a better one, like Super Sentai, Super Turbo Rangers. This is the Turbo team. This is the real one. So I feel like we gotta do a name switch. So let's name the Turbo Rangers. So let's name the Sentai Turbo Rangers into Car Ranger instead of Turbo. A fixation, because The real Turbo team, the Turbo Power Rangers Turbo team, is actually called Car Ranger. That's strange, I know. It's not really strange, but it's just, unique. Anyways, let's begin with the first episode and how it's gonna begin. Alright, the first episode begins like this. Alright, the episode begins with the Rangers in their civilian form helping people out through the city. The Blue Ranger returns to school to check on anyone who might need him and discovers that the robot he built for Tensu had disappeared. The team reunites at their base only to find out it's completely destroyed. Both Tensu and Gosei and Tensu are gone. Suddenly a pre-recorded message appears from Gosei appears. Gosei explains that while the Rangers were away protecting others, the Armada launched a surprise attack on the base and have gotten rid of both Gosei and Tensu. Yeah, they're gone. Before his final moments, Gosei Gosei created new powers for the Rangers. He also created a robotic bird companion named Navi the Navigator, who will guide the Rangers on their mission and help them unlock their new abilities. Okay, the Rangers face reality that they are the Earth's last line of defense against the Bright, even without their mentor. Alright, the Blue Ranger robot. Okay. The Blue Ranger robot was captured by the Armada, transformed into a general after they recognized its potential. To make it worse, the Armada transferred the minds of both Gosei and Tensu into the robot. To mess with the Rangers even more. And besides, that will give more reason why the robot is more strong, because they know the Rangers. They know their moves. It'll make it more sad for the Blue Ranger, because he both got to destroy his robot and Gosei and Tensu. Okay, Navi the Navigator was created by This is Navi the Navigator. Navi the Navigator was created by Gosei just in case if something bad happens to him. Also, Navi explained three things to the Ranger. 1. Yeah, I'm fixing this while doing this because I send it to a YouTuber. See if we can rate it. Hopefully he responds. Alright. Okay, 1. The Rangers now have the ability to transform into past Ranger teams like pirates. They must travel and find the legendary powers. Legendary Ranger powers and the ultimate treasure the only capable power of defeating the Armada. Some Ranger keys are not in the Ranger database because Gosei created them by drawing power from both the Morphin Grid and another source of power known as Super Sentai. And 3, the Black Ranger suit has been changed to green because there are more Green Ranger than Black Ranger across the Morphin Grid and Super Sentai. As a result, the new powers naturally selected the Green Ranger color instead of black. Alright, here's some cameo ideas for episodes that didn't have any. So SPD, the SPD one, to have the Red Ranger Sky. Maybe he got bored one day, realizing, I kind of like the SPD life, and join back. The Blue Ranger, the Mystic Force one. It could be Nick Russell from the Red Mystic Force Ranger. And the Alliance could be with Princess Shayla, because I think it's strange the fact they were on Adamarium, but yet Princess Shayla was not there, even though that's kind of her home. So yeah, and here's some ideas they can each dialogue, dialogue that the Camions could say to each Ranger. It is a Ranger for the Red SPD Ranger. He could say it is a Ranger due to protect the Earth, its people, and everything good. The Red Mr. Forks Ranger could say your team is your family, and a way to defeat an enemy is your family. And Princess Sailor could say is Zords are living beings. You must show them why you and them can work together. Alright, some more cameos. Cameo 2 could be, this is the Samurai one, because Lawrence Shiva didn't appear that much. I feel like we're gonna give her more, give more understanding to the Rangers. Let her appear more, and because she was really not there because of Jade Shiva, but I feel like give her more. She could say to her Rangers, understand what makes your opponent powerful and never lose motivation over it. Dr. K in the RPM episode, when they get Turbo Falcon, all she could say is all it requires is patience for a moment in time for you to be needed. And Episode 10 with the Ninja Storm could be the Echo Fighters that appear in the Ninja Storm finale. You know, it's and they can say it to the Rangers. Hey, it's not the Power Ranger that makes the person special. It's the person that makes that Power Ranger special. Alright, anyways, next up. Alright, so this is a little complaint for me. Alright, so I have just like a sentence complaint. Alright, this dude, alright, the Silver Ranger Megazord. Silver Ranger Megazord is called the QX Megazord, which is a problem because there's already a Megazord with that name. The Quantum Ranger for Power Rangers Time Force. So I like to rename him to the Quicksilver T-Rex Megazord. The T for time. And alright, so this is a little strange thing I just thought of a name. I thought it was named that the Falcon Zord was called the Turbo Falcon, even though it was explained that Dr. K created it. Who was she from? Where she's from? Power Ranger RPM. So I was like, why don't we just rename it to the RPM Falcon Zord? You know. And this is not. I had to research this. This Zord and the Red Ranger, the Red RPM Zord are very different. Are different. This is a Falcon. The Red RPM Zord is an eagle. And in the Sentai, it's a condor. So, but they're different birds, right? And the place where they found the Zord in this Megaforce team was apparently in Corinth, which, in my personal perspective, when they show it, it was not Corinth. It was not Corinth at all. So, let's just say they found it in the morphing grid. You know, Dr. K locked it up in the morphing grid. Alright, so okay, Robo Knight and Vrak returning. So this is a thing. In the Megaforce show, Vrak returns. They have a couple episodes of it. So I have an idea. Why don't we use the Sentai footage of the Rangers fighting the legendary Ranger clones in the fighting the legendary Ranger clones in the Sentai footage. And while in this version, however, on the American version, the one we're trying to fix, Vrak used the Silver Ranger energy to power his drills and create legendary Ranger clones, giving Rangers a much greater challenge, while explaining how the Ranger clones were created. Okay, when Vrak returns, when Robo Knight returns, they realize something is different about him. Is that and Vrak reveals that, hey, I captured an innocent person and forced him to transform into the new Robo Knight by using Robo Knight's morpher, and I've corrupted the new user, which explains why Robo Knight memory is kind of gone, because this is it's not their Robo Knight, it's a new Robo Knight. And yeah, it does give Robo Knight a sad fate. What happened to him? He's gone. Yeah, he's gone. The original Robo Knight's gone. We got the new one. And finally, and tomorrow, Vrak also gives Kings a new powerful form after absorbing the Silver Ranger energy. This transformation allows him to rival the Red Ranger in combat and makes him a much more dangerous opponent. During the battle, Navi Navigator temporarily restores the Ranger's original morphers, allowing them to access their previous Ranger powers for one last fight against Vrak and his legendary 6 Ranger clones. However, after Vrak is defeated, temporary connection to the morphic fades, causing the original morphers to lose their powers. So again, Alright, so here's Vrak's identity. Here's his new form. I thought it would look cool. And this is the guy he captured. If you wonder why he looks familiar, he's the same dude in that one Megaforce episode where he just telling everyone that, hey, I'm a Power Ranger, try and get some recognition. And here's the footage idea. Alright. Shout out to
every second brings it.
Okay, shout out to SentaiFive OFFICAL. I use another part of this footage, but yeah, he could just Red Ranger morphs in him. The match to like this is Vrak and it's the Red Ranger, the battling, and then they swap it to the Megaforce form, It'd be a good idea. Anyways, next up. Alright, the final battle. Alright. Okay, the Red Ranger. Okay, the Rangers find the treasure. Which is one wish, but it will cost them all their Ranger power, so they don't use the wish and decided to finish the Amara one last time. The Silver Ranger gets destroyed after trying to stop the Armada attack. No, not the Silver Ranger gets destroyed. His Megazord gets destroyed. The Silver Megaforce team in Silver Ranger versus Admiral, and this is the idea footage. Fun fact: this was actually in the show, ish. It was in a movie, which I think is dumb. Like, why not add in the show? Because apparently in the show version, Admiral died in the ship, like gets destroyed in the ship, which I think is dumb. So why not just show the battle of him, you know? And then they can use more footage because, like I give a better explanation how to take of the Super Sentai stuff instead of being like special powers to be like, oh, Ghost used the power of Super Sentai, you know? And finally, and fourth one, the Super Megaforce team and their Megazord, the Silver Ranger, and the Megaforce Zord because his sword was destroyed, and the new Robo in his Megaforce form versus Emerald, but with some help. You know? So here's an idea. Here's another idea footage. Again, shout out to SentaiFive OFFICAL, and also to the other person right here. Let me get the video up so I can give a proper shout out to him. Power Ranger Official. Yeah, I like him. The favorite footage. You know, he can. Admiral grows, starts destroying the city. Robo Knight, the original Robo Knight, gets swatted out of the sky, you know, trying to be a hero. And the access to powers to learn the lesson, and boom, they access more power. They get the powers to see the Megazords of both Super Sentai and Power Rangers. No, they're going to make it more interesting. And they did a final attack on the John form with Admiral Murloc, and boom, get rid of him. And yeah, but also here's some final cameo ideas: the Red Mighty Morphin Power Ranger and Aqua Red. I know it's a stretch, but come on. As much I like Jason David Frank, Jason, the Green Ranger, the actor who played the Green Mighty Morphin Ranger. I forgot his name. Jason David Frank. Something Jason, right? I like Jason, but I feel like, you know, add these two. The first, well, these two, they weren't really Power Rangers. The first Red Ranger and the first Red Power Ranger and the first Red Super Sentai Ranger. Yeah, and that's mostly it. Anyways, I hope y'all liked the presentation. I was kind of fixing it at the same time because I did send it to a YouTuber. Spoilers, Connor Waffle. I hope he sees it, because I'm a huge fan of him. But other than that, y'all, hope all of you have a good day. And remember, yeah, I kind of got no outro for this. But actually, wait, hold up. I do got an outro to finish this off. And the outro is this. See ya.